Have you ever wished you could, see into the future of your business, predict problems before they even pop up and understand all the moving parts with total clarity? I think we all have. What if there was a way to gain that insight, not from boring old reports, but from a living, breathing replica of everything going on?
Well, you're in luck. There actually is a technology emerging that gives us exactly that kind of perspective. Welcome to the world of digital twins.
Digital twins. It does sound a bit sci-fi, right? But the basic idea is surprisingly simple and so powerful. Basically, a digital twin is a super advanced virtual model, kind of like a digital mirror that never stops updating of a real-world thing, a process, or even a whole massive system.
And for our deep dive today, the material you sent over those excerpts from Digital Twins in Supply Chain, Revolutionizing the Future. That's a perfect real-world example. The supply chain, with all its complexity and interconnections, it really shows the huge potential and practical uses of this technology.
Yeah, it's a great illustration. So what are we aiming for today? We want to really understand what these digital twins are all about. How do they actually work? With all that real-time data flowing in, the sensors, the smart analytics that let us simulate, predict, and optimize stuff, we're going to make it crystal clear, and we promise no overly technical jargon.
Sounds good. Let's get into it. You called it a living digital model earlier. That's a great way to put it. It's not just a static digital file, is it?
Oh, definitely not. It's not like a snapshot. It's like a live video feed, constantly changing, constantly reflecting the real world. It's getting a constant stream of data from its real world twin, whatever that might be, a machine, a warehouse, a whole transportation network. It just keeps evolving, a dynamic, a breathing virtual representation.
This whole idea, it's not brand new, right? Where did this all begin?
Well, the origins are actually pretty fascinating. You might be surprised to hear that NASA was way ahead of the curve on this one. Think way back to the 1960s, the Apollo missions. They were using mirroring technology back then. Imagine a complete replica of the spacecraft, but here on Earth. That allowed them to run simulations, figure out problems the astronauts were facing in real time, millions of miles away. Talk about ingenious.
And it's incredible to think how far we've come since then. The Internet of Things, or IoT, artificial intelligence, AI, the power of cloud computing, they've all come together to make this concept accessible and so much more powerful for a ton of different uses.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of uses, the supply chain. Man, it's like a playground for digital twins.
Yeah.
The possibilities are almost endless. I mean, even just starting with inventory management, that's huge.
Huge is right. Imagine having a digital twin of your entire warehouse. What kind of power does that give you?
So picture this. You have this virtual warehouse, right? And it's getting updated every second with data on everything inside. Every item's location, how many you have, even its condition. It's like having X-ray vision. You can see exactly what you have at any given moment. But it goes even further. You could start predicting when you might run out of stuff based on, projected demand.
Yeah.
You can even optimize the layout of the actual warehouse to make picking and packing super efficient. It's like going from just storing stuff to orchestrating a perfectly timed ballet.
That's a great analogy. And then there's production planning. How do digital twins fit into that?
Okay, so think about a complicated manufacturing process. You have all these different stages all connected. A digital twin lets you create a virtual version of the entire thing. And then you can spot bottlenecks, where things slow down or get stuck. And the best part, you can test different solutions in this virtual world without messing up the actual production line. It's like a risk-free sandbox where you can tinker and optimize the whole flow, get things running smoothly and efficiently.
So finding and fixing those inefficiencies virtually before they even happen in the real world.
Exactly. But we're not just talking about factories here. This extends to logistics and transportation too.
With all the tracking technology we have now, that seems like a perfect fit.
Oh, absolutely. Digital twins can keep tabs on shipments in real time. They can analyze tons of data traffic, weather, all of it, and then optimize those delivery routes. That means faster deliveries, less fuel used, and overall, a much smarter and more cost-effective way to move stuff around.
And all this connectivity, it can even change how different parts of the supply chain work together, right? What about working with suppliers?
Exactly. So imagine companies sharing data from their digital twins with their suppliers securely, of course. Now everyone's on the same page. They have better visibility, smoother communication. What does that lead to? Shorter lead times, better forecasting of materials, and a much more resilient and flexible supply network. Everyone wins.
And of course, we can't forget about risk management. In a world that's constantly changing, that's more important than ever.
Totally agree. Imagine being able to simulate, conventional disasters. What happens if a big supplier gets hit by a hurricane? What if there's a sudden surge in demand? With a digital twin, you can play out all these scenarios and come up with plans. It's like instead of reacting to problems, you're anticipating them and already have solutions ready to go. You're not just weathering the storm, you're building a fortress.
So it's about building resilience right into the system.
Yeah.
Finding the weak spots and making sure you have backups ready.
Exactly. And all this might sound a little theoretical, but it's not just talk. Major companies are already seeing huge real-world benefits.
The excerpts you shared had some amazing examples. Let's talk about a few to make this real for everyone listening, like Amazon, for instance.
Right.
Yeah.
They have this massive network of warehouses, and they're using digital twins to fine-tune basically everything. Where to put inventory, how to manage their robot armies, all to squeeze out every bit of efficiency from this gigantic, complex machine.
And then there's DHL, a global shipping powerhouse.
They're using digital twins to simulate and optimize their whole worldwide network. They can spot areas where they can cut costs and make those deliveries even faster and more reliable. I mean, that benefits everyone, right? We all get our packages quicker.
Siemens, a big name in manufacturing, they offer another great example.
They use digital twins to actually predict when their equipment might break down. That's preventative maintenance at its best. They fix things before they go wrong, avoiding delays and keeping those production lines humming.
And lastly, Unilever, they're doing some really interesting work in the area of sustainability.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. They're using digital twins to model their entire supply chain, looking for ways to reduce waste and use less energy. It just goes to show how this technology can help us be more environmentally responsible. And these are just a few examples. There are tons of companies seeing real results from this stuff.
So looking ahead, what's next for digital twins in the supply chain?
The future is looking pretty wild, actually. One thing to watch is the merging of digital twins with AI and machine learning. It's going to get even smarter.
So what would that actually look like?
Think about it. Digital twins that don't just reflect the present, they actually learn from past data, see patterns we might miss, and make even better predictions about what might happen. They might even be able to make some decisions on their own. Pretty mind-blowing.
A big leap forward for sure. And the scope of digital twins, that's going to grow too, right?
Absolutely. We're going to see more companies building end-to-end digital twins. That means covering the whole life of a product, from the raw materials to the customer. That's a much bigger picture, even more valuable insights.
And this whole idea of sustainability, it seems like that's going to be even more crucial.
You're sure. With all the pressure to be more eco-friendly, digital twins are going to be essential. They can help us optimize resources, cut down on waste, and track our environmental impact, from start to finish.
It's also encouraging that this tech isn't just for the big players.
Right. As the technology gets cheaper and easier to use, more small and medium businesses are going to jump on board. That means companies of all sizes can benefit. That's exciting.
Now, for everyone listening who's thinking, this sounds amazing, I want this, what do they need to have in place to actually make this work?
That's the key question. It's not just about buying some software. There are a few things you need to get started. First, the tech foundation. You need good IoT sensors to gather data in real time, enough cloud power to handle it all, and sophisticated analytics platforms to make sense of it.
And that data needs to be flowing smoothly, right?
Absolutely. Data integration is critical. You need a constant, reliable stream of accurate data going from your real stuff into your digital twin. If the data's messed up, the insights are worthless.
It's not all about the tech, though. You need the right people, too, right?
100%. You need a team who knows what they're doing. Data scientists to crunch the numbers, IoT experts to manage the sensors and the data flow, and of course, people who really understand the supply chain. That's the business brain behind it all.
And we also have to talk about the money. This kind of technology, it requires some serious investment.
No doubt. Setting it up can be pricey. From what we've read, smaller businesses might be looking at around $50,000 just to get started. For big companies, it could be millions. It all depends how complex it is. But you have to think long-term. The potential savings, the increased efficiency, the better decision-making, those are the real payoffs.
And some of that investment needs to go towards training, right?
Totally. Companies have to get their people up to speed with IoT, data analytics, and whatever digital twin platform they choose. There are a lot of them out there, like Siemens MindSphere, Microsoft Azure Digital Twins, IBM Watson, you name it. Knowing how to use the tools is just as important as having the tools in the first place.
So lots of potential benefits, but it's clear that there are also challenges to keep in mind. What are some of the biggest hurdles companies might face?
Well, data security is a huge one. We're talking about sensitive information about your entire supply chain. Protecting that data is absolutely essential.
And a lot of companies have older systems. Integrating those with these fancy new digital twin platforms, that can be a big headache.
Yeah, integration can be tricky. It takes careful planning and some serious know-how.
And of course, as a business grows, the digital twin needs to be able to grow with it. That's not always easy.
You got it. Scalability. You need to build it in from the start. It has to be able to expand without becoming a monster.
So wrapping things up, what's the big takeaway message for everyone listening?
The main point is this. Digital twins aren't just a cool idea for the future. They're here, they're real, and they're already changing how supply chains work. And even if you're not directly involved in a supply chain, the principles behind this, they can apply to almost any complex operation. It's all about getting that deeper understanding.
And the benefits are pretty universal. More efficiency, less waste, better risk management, and being able to predict what's coming. That's a powerful combination.
Absolutely. So here's something to think about. Even if your work isn't about supply chains, how could a digital twin, a living, breathing model of your work, your assets, even your customer interactions, how could that unlock new insights and opportunities for you? What could you optimize with that kind of data-driven perspective? It's something to consider.
And as we keep exploring these transformative technologies, we want to hear from you. What areas are you curious about? What would you like us to delve into? Your questions and ideas help shape our deep dives. Keep them coming.